Hey everyone, today we're going to get into something really cool, something that's kind of like the secret DNA of our favorite fantasy stories. We're talking everything from Lord of the Rings to A Song of Ice and Fire. We're going to uncover this hidden logic, this secret plan that makes these worlds feel so real and so intentional. So yeah, let's explore that blueprint.
You know that feeling you get when you're deep into a fantasy story, where it just feels like the events unfolding aren't random at all? Like there's some kind of cosmic referee in the background, making sure everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to? Well, you're not crazy. That feeling is real, and it actually has a name. And that name is gazeful correctness. Now I know, it sounds a little stuffy, a little academic, right? But stick with me here because it's actually the perfect way to describe this powerful, unseen force that guides so many of the stories we absolutely love. So, what are we actually talking about here? Well, gazeful correctness is basically the idea that there's this intense, watchful presence, often something supernatural, that is actively making sure things go according to plan. Think of it like this. The universe itself has a script, and it is not going to let anyone go off book. Okay, so this gaze isn't just one simple thing. It actually shows up in a few key ways. First, you've got your literal, all-seeing eyes, the ones that are watching and judging everything. Then you have these incredibly wise, almost supernatural beings who are kind of nudging the world back into balance. And finally, there's just this cosmic sense of rightness, a force that makes sure destiny plays out. Right, so that's the theory. But how does it actually work in the stories we know and love? Well, let's start with the most obvious examples, the characters themselves, the ones who are basically the living, breathing agents of this whole watchful system. And here's what's so fascinating, and honestly, a little chilling. This gaze isn't always good. This is a huge point. I mean, you've got Gandalf, right? The classic wise mentor using his hidden knowledge to guide the good guys. But on the flip side, you have the Eye of Sauron, and that's a gaze too. It's enforcing its own twisted version of what's correct, a world of darkness and control. From Sauron's point of view, he's just putting things in order. So you see, it's not always about good versus evil. It's about a powerful, watchful presence shaping reality. Think about this quote. It's the perfect example of what we're talking about. A handful of uncanny words, and boom, an entire world is locked onto a single, unchangeable path. What's brilliant about the prophecy in Harry Potter is that it isn't just a friendly tip. No, it's a cosmic law. It's spoken, and now it is. It forces the entire 7-book saga down one very specific road. The story has no choice but to follow it, and that's what gives it that incredible, heavy sense of destiny. Okay, so we've got characters as the Watchers. But what if it's not a person? What if the world itself is watching? Now this is where the concept gets really wild. We're talking about enchanted places, landscapes that are basically judges with their own conscience and their own plans. I mean, come on, in fantasy, a forest is never just a forest, right? You've got places like Lothlorien in Lord of the Rings. It's not just a pretty wood. It's a living sanctuary that knows who's good and who's evil, and it acts on it. Or think about high places, mountaintops where secrets are revealed. Even a building. Hogwarts is the perfect example. The castle itself seems alive, testing its students, helping them. These places aren't just scenery, they're characters. And if you want the ultimate example of this, look no further than the Weirwood trees. Those carved, bleeding faces, they're not just creepy decorations, they are the literal eyes of the old gods. They're like a giant organic hard drive for the entire world, recording everything, holding on to secrets, and then, ever so slowly, pushing fate around to make sure justice is served. The land itself is watching, and it remembers. All right, so far we've got wise old wizards and magical forests keeping everything in line. It's all very orderly. But here's the twist, and I love this part. What if the best way to fix a broken world is to break it even more? This is where the trickster comes in. So you've really got these two different paths to creating order. On one side, you've got your Gandalfs and your Aslans. They're the protectors, the ones reinforcing the good that's already there. But then you have the agents of chaos, your Lokis. They're liars, they're cheats, they love to stir the pot. But, and this is the key, their chaos isn't just for fun. It has a purpose. It's like the world's immune system, kicking in to attack a system that's become sick or corrupt or just plain stuck. And that's the crucial thing to get here. It is not chaos for the sake of chaos. The trickster's real job is to push buttons and test boundaries. When they break a rule, it makes everybody stop and ask, hey, why did we even have that rule in the first place? They expose what's unfair, what's hollow, what's rotten. And yeah, their disruption can be messy, even painful, but it's essential. It's like a controlled burn that clears out all the dead wood so something new and healthier can actually grow.
Okay, so we've gone pretty deep on this gazeful correctness idea. So what? Why does it all matter? Well, because when you understand this concept, you understand the very heartbeat of fantasy. You finally get why these stories hit us so hard and feel so incredibly satisfying. It does a few things, really. For one, it gives these stories real moral gravity. The stakes feel huge. It's also why the endings feel so right, so earned. You get the sense that this hidden cosmic blueprint has finally all clicked into place. But I think the most important thing is that it makes the world feel alive. It feels conscious. It makes you believe that every single piece, every rock, every river, every little prophecy is connected in this huge, meaningful web. So let's go all the way back to the beginning. Remember that feeling I asked you about? That little inkling that the world has a plan? Well, gazeful correctness. That's it. That's the name for it. It basically proves that your gut feeling was right all along. These worlds do have a memory. They do have a conscience. And yeah, they absolutely have a will of their own. So, I'll leave you with this. The next time you dive back into your favorite fantasy world, doesn't matter if it's Westeros or Narnia or Middle-earth, just stop for a second and ask yourself, what's the gaze here? Who or what is watching? Thanks for digging into this with me.